Pathways to Pregnancy. I'm a registered traditional Chinese medicine practitioner and acupuncturist, founder of Alive Holistic Health Clinic in Toronto, and your wellness coach. And so I'm talking today about sleep. And the reason being is I just came back from Vancouver, which was so awesome because, for one, I live in a place in Toronto where there's no ocean, no mountains. So to go there and get rejuvenated with this fresh ocean air was freaking phenomenal. However, two things. It affected my sleep because when I get excited being around other practitioners and speaking about the art of Chinese medicine with all like-minded people, I get like wired up. And so with that, I have to be able to learn to calm it down so that I can actually sleep. And in the past, I've been known to sleep like 3 hours because I get so excited and I can't stop thinking about it. So just so you know, I am human. And for those of you that see me as patients, you can say to yourself, oh gosh, she is human. And, you know, as much as I would love to say that I sleep 8 hours a day solid, I don't necessarily get it all the time. And certainly right now, no, because there is a little bit of jet lag involved. So the discussion is, and a lot of people worry about, oh gosh, you know, how much sleep do I really need to support my fertility? And I'm going to open up this conversation and really actually say, how much sleep do I need for my health? Because it's really important. And as much as we want to have that perfect 8 hours sleep, I mean, ideally, in an ideal world, it would be great to have 8 to 9 hours of sleep unbroken. And the reality is a lot of us don't get it. I don't have stats on it. I'm not having a research-based discussion tonight, but I will talk about just looking alone through my patients, for example. So our sample, which is modest, and let's say if there's like 100 people, at least 50% of the people, if not more, are having some kind of a sleep issue. So for some, it may be excitement. For others, it actually can be the other way around, where they, you know, can never get enough sleep, and when they do sleep, it's just not fulfilling because perhaps it's not a deep sleep. So how does that affect our fertility? Well, there actually have been studies on when we are sleeping well and we have the proper amounts of melatonin in our bodies, then it produces restful sleep, restful state, helps healing. So think about when you get a cold, what happens? You need to lie down, go to bed, because when you're in bed, that's when you're able to ward off and fight off. The white blood cell count goes higher. Your ability to ward off sickness is better when you're resting, versus if you're still working like a dog. And what happens, right? You probably have had this happen yourself, where you just try to work through things when you're sick. And what you get is that instead of getting better, you may either, you know, just kind of stay in that category or just get worse. And so really rest is important. And in terms of, you know, trying to create and optimize egg quality and sperm health, then you have to know that some level of good rest may help your cellular development as well. And melatonin, we do know, is can physically impact eggs, because there is melatonin found within the eggs, at least the follicles anyway. And so eggs are found within the follicles. The follicles with the follicular fluid helps to bathe the egg. So it is important for sleep. Now, let's bring it back to reality. So if you find yourself where you're not actually getting physically enough sleep, well, what do? Do you make yourself feel bad about it? And then how does that work for you? When we're feeling bad and wrong, that just increases our stress levels, right? So can we come from a place of acceptance? First of all, our mindset shift of, gosh, you know, if you have never been a great sleeper, just come from a place of acceptance and not make yourself feel wrong or bad. And then imagine if you accept that and acknowledge it, then there's less pressure for you at nighttime to go to bed. Because, you know, I know that I've certainly talked or seen in my book, even in my, I I believe, unless it was cut. I think it's still in there. Talking about sleep, the importance of sleep and sleep hygiene. Well, that's fine and dandy, but these are physical things that you can do. But then it doesn't really address like how are we being, how are we feeling about our sleep. So if you're physically having a bad day, don't beat yourself up for it. And don't start thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not having the greatest sleep, so it's going to affect my eggs and my egg quality. Because how helpful is that? All we're doing is we're perpetuating our stress. And as we know, and as I've said time and time again, when we have more undue stress, our energy and our blood will flow to where it's necessary survival, right? It just does. Our fight or flight response, our evolutionary response, which is very smart, has our body divert our energy away from where it's not necessary for survival, which are our reproductive organs. Because of course you can like surgically remove the whole thing and you'll still be alive, right? So it's like, how do we harness and bring that energy back? So mindset is a piece of it. So there's the physical sleep, and then there's a mindset, emotional stress. So if we're working on sleep and it's getting like a tad bit better, but then your emotions are like so far down because it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed about trying to get a good night's sleep, then I'm not even sure how much that's helping you. Versus you are kind to yourself, you surrender to what is. Okay, tonight, you know what, I was a little pensive and I didn't sleep as well, or I had a thing that I had to finish at night and I physically couldn't get to bed till 2 o'clock in the morning, or you have a sick cat or a dog or a parent or something and you didn't get enough sleep. Do you beat yourself up? You probably do. So instead of beating yourself up, I invite you to say, okay, so how can we just say, and I say this to myself, by the way, I'll say, this is going to be the best 4-hour sleep I'll ever have. It's going to be completely rejuvenating. When I lived in Victoria, BC, out there somewhere, there was this Buddhist monk monastery. And, we were talking about how some monks, they can actually sleep 4 hours a night and be great and fresh. So what are they doing? They let go of their minds, right? Because they're well trained. So if you let your mind go more, so you surrender to, oh gosh, here I am in my thoughts, but then tell yourself, oh, here I am in my thoughts without judgment, and then go back into your breath and meditate. Just consider that that is powerful enough to redirect your energy back to your womb, rather than having the stickler of 8 hours or else your eggs are going to expire, right? So it doesn't have to look like that. Does that make sense? So mindset is key. And of course, sleep hygiene, keeping blinds down, especially now that we're going into summer, so that you have darkness. And that will help, again, have your natural circadian rhythm be invigorated. Well, not invigorated, tapped into. And then, don't look at the computer, don't go on your cell phone right before bed. That doesn't help. So I would do that maybe 45 minutes to an hour prior to, because everybody is so attached to their mobile phone. So just turn it off, shut it off before. And make sure you're also hydrated. I think that's good for restful sleep, but not so much right before bed, but throughout the day. So you're proactive about it, because at nighttime, we should be sleeping. It's not a time to be drinking. So during the nighttime sleeping, your body should be like shut off. Your digestive tract should be shut down, so that we can create full rest and rejuvenation for the whole of the body. So hydration and setting the mood. So obviously not wanting to have too much noise, although some people do better with some kind of distraction. So depending on who you are, maybe then you might want some ambient noise to kind of have you stare away from your head that is always churning. So some people listen to music or waves or something like that. And for some, waves are like bad idea because it makes them want to go pee. So if that's you, don't do it. But it can be some other kind of ambient noise. Sometimes people actually like the sound of a fan or birds or whatever. I don't know. Like some people will like rock music and sleep through that. And but others, better to have that, creating that yin nurturing environment where it's more quiet. So that's important. And I wouldn't do an excessively hot bath right before bed either, because when you increase your temperature, you're sweating, and when you do that, you're just stimulating your adrenals a little bit more, like rather than rest. So you can have a hot bath, but maybe earlier in the night, maybe like 2 hours before. That would be better if you're a person that has difficulty sleeping, because it's actually better for your body and be more restful if you start off a little bit on the cool side. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So we covered a couple of things: mindset, sleeping environment, less noise. These are all easy things. The very good thing, and I'm not sure if everybody knows this, is not to have sugar before bed. And even like an hour before. Like, listen, when we're trying to conceive, we typically say don't decrease your sugar anyhow. But if you're going to have sugar, definitely do it earlier in the day rather than before bedtime, because it'll spike your blood sugar levels up. It's going to impact and impede your sleep. And sometimes you might fall asleep with the sugar, but what you'll find, which includes alcohol, by the way, this does this, you'll wake up during the night from the sugar, because there's like this up and down sequence. And doing that, again, does not provide restful sleep. And to the point where actually, if I have sugar late at night and then go to bed, I'll guaranteed I'll have a horrible sleep. I'll wake up and I'll also have nightmares, because sugar makes you crazy, right? It induces an inflammatory response. It's just not so great. So I'm not the person that says completely abstain 100% from sugar. But if you do have sugar, at least have it in a better format, like fruit. Or, if you have to have like a chocolate, don't buy your Mars bar or Kit Kat, which has lots of chemicals. Buy the more ones that have no preservatives, like that. So at least it's a better grade. And then, so eating well, hydrating, producing a right sleep environment, not being too hot, not being too cold. Oh, by the way, and if you're a person that gets too cold before bed, another trick is to put like a hot water bottle at your feet and then kick it away right before sleep, because at least then you're in a comfortable temperature and then you can rest. But the biggest piece is to not put pressure on yourself to say, hey, or time yourself. Oh gosh, how long is it going to take me to fall asleep tonight? And I know, because as a child, I was a childhood insomniac, because I did have that anxiety. It's like, oh my gosh, I wish I can get sleep. I need to sleep. And the more I was able to let that go and let go of how sleep should look like and how many hours I should get and how long it should take me to fall asleep, taking the pressure off, in fact, helps sleep. So I hope that serves you. I hope you got something out of it. And I am, for the first time, this coming Sunday, I invite you all to come to my program. So for those of you that are going to be watching this as a recording, my first live it's a fertility circle, I call it, where it's on a Kajabi platform, which is completely private, so away from Facebook or YouTube. And you can jump on this Sunday, May 6th, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can come in with questions. I'll do Q&A, anything and everything that you can think of that is fertility or life and health related, which can even be work related. We can strategize so that we can serve you, so that you can align yourself in a more optimized way, both physically, emotionally, and spiritually, in terms of creating the right atmosphere, or cultivating that soil before we plant that seed of life within us is so important. So let's look at that, let's embrace that, and it'll be an awesome conversation where I will be leading you through a conversation for the first hour, and then the second hour you can do Q&A. Maybe I'll be a little loose about it, so if the questions come up during my talk, you can of course raise your hand and type out your question and I can address it. But I'm excited to do this because here on Facebook, it's a very quiet bunch. Nobody wants to be shown and they just watch. So this time it'll be interactive on a private web page or platform so you can interact. So it's truly a coaching program. And if you have seen me as a patient, well, what happens is that you pay money to see me directly, right? And that'll be $300. So now I'm creating a program where you can, for the first month, come in for $1. And I was actually trying to do it for free, but this platform doesn't allow for 100% discount. So you can get in for $1. And next month and thereafter, it'll be $29.99 US for 6 months. And then after that, it may be $39.99 per month, because really it'll be the cheapest coaching session you'll ever have. I personally get coaching. Right now I'm in a group coaching program. And as I mentioned, I am a coach myself. So I really believe in the power of coaching. And I'm giving you at a really affordable rate because I pay like $1 gazillion for my coaching. And I figure I can do this in a group platform so that it's affordable, as well as, guess what, we're paying so much money into fertility stuff that it's like, let's get some support, some community, some help. And by the way, you contribute to this community, hopefully by also interacting and asking questions and placing your comments in. So it'll be so freaking awesome. So please join me. And again, it'll be this Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. 2 hours of your day. It'll be live, and then thereafter, if you want to revisit the Q&A and my teachings, then it will be on a recording for you. And then if you stay on, love my work, which I know you will, then it'll just be $29.99 for the first 6 months thereafter, and you'll get access to recordings because I'll record them and keep them on the platform. So it'll be so awesome, and I really, really hope that you'll join me, because as some of you know who have tried to go on to either chat lines as a community support or live support groups, there's a lot of people that complain and say, gosh, like if there's so much negativity and I'm not, it's not filling my heart. And my aim and my goal is to keep things more on a positive realm. Positive, not meaning like fake, I'm going to feed you candy kind of positive, like rah, but like real life optimism, where just knowing that, yeah, you know what, maybe we can. I mean, there's a possibility we can't, but maybe we can, versus when things get spiraled downward, like everything looks impossible. So I hope this serves you, and I really look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Oh, well, you'll be seeing me. I'll be hearing from you. Okay? Have a great night. And if you don't have it already, pick up my book, Pathways to Pregnancy. Check out all my posts below, or check it out through my marywong.life page. And is there anything else? I think that's it for now. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Take care. Mwah.